the trip itself, to be on the show, basically across the world, and you can't really put a price on that experience. £20,000 will go such a long way in these third world countries, and it'll help so many
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, we could have won it. We could, if I bought the money back here, realistically, what would I've done with it? Buy a new car, build a
True, true.
conservatory. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's so materialistic things to me. And I remember one incident where we were in the bus stop, and it was time for Salah. We both started praying, and then it was like everyone at the bus stop just literally just crowded around us, like thinking, "What the hell's going on here?" The brothers there, like obviously we had like a big camera crew around us. There's me, my nephew, and there's seven other people around us, like with cameras and sound equipment and all sorts. So obviously we were like a bit of an entourage. They made sure the whole of our crew stayed with us in the mosque, and they all
Okay.
fed us. Like me, my nephew, and the whole crew, they fed us like really well, and they properly looked after us. And the next day, they're like, "Oh, where are you going now?" And they like took us to the bus stop. And they bought us our bus ticket for the
Oh,
next part
wow.
of the journey. Your mum and dad would say, "Right, it's time for you free to get married. We've got someone
Yeah.
in mind, and this is it, really." And even my brothers and sisters, they got married arranged. Alhamdulillah, they're all happy. But it wasn't for me. Me and my family had a big falling out about it, and so I just like literally went on my own way to find myself. If you know what I mean. That's why I,
Mm.
I left home really.
If you can't communicate with your parents, you're sort of on the back foot already.
Mm.
You know, and it's hard to talk to them in Bengali when you want to express your feelings or you want to say something specific, but you don't know how to get it out. And I think that was one of the main factors for myself, that I couldn't communicate effectively with my parents.
Have you tried that since you've been back in the UK? Like to haggle in the markets and stuff?
I haggle all the time.
Oh, is it?
In Tesco's and stuff like that. I'll pick something up. I'll pick something up to see if there's anything wrong with it first, and if there's something wrong with it, that's it. It's getting a couple of quid knocked off.
Think about someone in your life that is no longer here. What is one lesson they taught you?
It's got to be my dad, because
Okay.
he passed away. I think it was in the end of November. He taught me a
Okay.
lot. The one main thing that he always said was to give, give, give.
Mm.
There's a lot more people in this world that are less fortunate than yourself. Always think about them.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, Emon or Amon. I forgot what you told me to call it now. Emon, right?
Emon.
Yeah, Emon Choudhury.
Yeah.
So, thank you for coming on to this episode of the Loft Conversation. Obviously, we've seen your face on BBC
Mhm.
Two back earlier this year. Actually, it seems like ages ago now, but it was
Yeah.
not too long ago where you were on our TV screens, racing across the world, as they say, on across South America. And I remember watching actually the show during lockdown,
Yeah.
the first kind of when it first came in around March time,
Mm.
and I was watching it, and I just every kind of week I was tuning in. I was like rooting for you and your nephew
Yeah.
Jamil as well to kind of like get to the finishing line, and I could kind of relate. Obviously, we're both brown, I guess.
Yeah.
I could relate in that regard, and we're both Muslim as well. So rooting for you, and it was amazing to see you guys win the show in the end, and then obviously the gesture that you
Yeah.
you did with giving half the money towards the charity work that you're
Mm.
doing now as well. So obviously, just I guess remind us of the kind of where did that journey on the show start from, and where did it end?
It was an incredible journey from start to finish. Even
Mm.
from the start of it, when we started our casting, when they told us to come down to, I think we went down to London 3, 4 times
Hmm.
for loads of interviews and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And even like literally before we flew out to Mexico, It was just so surreal, just having like so many cameras around you, and them recording you. And I'm just a normal guy that got lucky. I applied, and it just happened to get onto the show.
Yeah.
So it was a surreal experience from start to finish, and from Mexico City to Ushuaia, 53 days, 54 days, I think
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
of racing. It was constant. It was mad.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess since you've been back, obviously, it's been like lockdown, COVID, pandemic, and all of that. Did
Yeah.
it start while you were on the actual show and going through the countries? Like, did you hear
Uh,
about this coronavirus and thing?
no. Basically, we finished filming on 10th of November. It was my birthday. That
Okay.
was last year, and then we came back to UK around the 12th. I think the corona started hitting December time,
Mm.
and even then, I didn't think much of it, and I started making loads of plans. Like, so I knew the show was coming out, and we made a lot of plans to go back to Brazil and to go to India, and I did manage to go to Bangladesh in between, and everything just got cancelled. And
Ah,
yeah, I was gutted about Brazil because me and my nephew, we booked our flight to go back in May, and they
okay.
cancelled it. Then we rebooked it for August, and that got cancelled. So we're just waiting to go back really.
Okay, well, looked like and I actually when I watched the show and I saw you guys winning, it kind of wanted me to apply, and then there was
Yeah.
obviously they opened the applications up for the next show. I mean, God knows when they're going to do it now because of
Mm.
everything. But I did actually apply with my brother, but I don't know, I probably didn't get through. I would have heard back by now, I guess.
Yeah.
But it did actually inspire me to do that, and I guess you personally. I remember from watching the show that you did mention that you had been to a number of countries prior
Yeah.
to going through that experience. So, how many, like, would you say countries you've been to since whenever you
Well,
started traveling?
including the trip, I've been to 61 countries, which
Wow.
is which is a few, but there's
Yeah.
so much to see. There's a lot more to see, and you know, being stuck in the UK for the last 12 months now. I think it's the first time in my life that I've ever been stuck in one place for more than 12 months.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm eager to get back out there and explore the world.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we hope that things start turning for the better in 2021,
Yeah,
and we can
hopefully.
actually. I think there's going to be an influx of people just wanting to get out of the UK and travel.
Yeah, definitely.
It might be a little bit of a hike in prices and stuff as well
Yeah,
in regards to that. But we just hope that things get better. But I mean, since you've been back, obviously you won the competition,
mm,
which was 20,000, wasn't it, the prize money?
that's
And
right. Yeah.
then you decided then to between
Mm.
you and your nephew to kind of like split half of it towards charity. So can you like maybe tell us what you actually did
Yeah.
with the money?
So basically, we obviously won £20,000.
Mm,
We gave £10,000 away to a charity called Sal Martino. They're based in Brazil,
mm,
and we actually came across them on our trip. I just remember the logo when we were in Sao Paulo, and when I came back, I just did a lot of research on the charity itself, and then I approached them, and then they knew who I was anyway because they watched the show, and they were honoured that I've been in touch, and they're an amazing charity. They're a small organisation, but
mm,
they help the kids literally on the streets. They're on the ground. When I gave them money, they asked me, what kind of projects I want to back or what kind of projects I want to help. For
mm,
me, it was getting the kids off the streets and into education in that transition. And so basically, the money's gone to help fund that transition from getting them off the streets and into education. Providing them with shelter, food, clothes, everyday things that we all take for granted, really.
wow.
Um, and it wasn't just in Sao Paulo that we witnessed poverty. We witnessed it
Mm,
all over South America, and it was in particularly in Brazil where we found it the most. Especially in Sao Paulo and when we in Rio de Janeiro,
mm,
the big cities. You know what I mean? I think Sao Paulo is the fifth biggest city in the world, and you just didn't
okay.
expect it. And you know, it's just like shattering. It's something like, you can see like poverty on the TV and stuff like that, but when you experience it yourself firsthand, it has a different impact on you. I've been fortunate. I've traveled the whole of Africa as well, and in Africa, I did a lot of staying at orphanages, and that's what I did for 6 months. I just traveled from one orphanage to another orphanage, from literally from top to bottom, right to the bottom side of South Africa, and that's why I came across, a lot of like people in hardship, and I just do what I can really to help them out.
So I mean, have you had a history of like doing charity work prior to what you saw in Sao Paulo?
I think like anyone that knows me, my family are involved with charity a lot. My dad's got our own orphanage in Bangladesh, and that's solely supported by my family. So basically, just all my brothers, sisters, nephews, everyone, we like got direct debit of £10 going out of our accounts, and that just funds that. So we've grown up, supporting that supporting that orphanage, and every time I used to go back to Bangladesh, I'd actually spend more time in the orphanage than I'd do in the village. Playing with the kids, and just doing stuff with the kids. And that's the upbringing that my father gave me. Like, it's all about giving. I mean, we were fortunate to be living in the UK with everything that we have. And,
Definitely.
When we go back to Bangladesh, he could show us, this is what life is really like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, likewise with me, like personally, I mean, I'm from Pakistan originally, so like my father's got he's running a school in Pakistan as well, giving free education to like orphans and young children that can't afford education. And I think, like you said, it is the upbringing from an early age from our parents that instill that into us, that we should help those that are less fortunate. And I think that's important. And yeah, I mean, clearly you and your family, your father's doing some brilliant work. I mean, I can see your Penny Appeal T-shirt on as well. Is it? Are you are you representing them as well in any of their kind of campaigns?
To be honest, this is my gym
Oh,
T-shirt.
just random. Okay.
I've got loads of Islamic relief ones here.
Oh,
Muslim ones. I've got them all. To be honest, I've done a lot of work with all the charities.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Oh, I don't want to kind of. Well, you're promoting them indirectly, I guess.
I
mean, it's always good to give charity. It doesn't matter who you give it through, I guess.
True.
So you went recently to Bangladesh, isn't it? Because I saw some of your pictures on Instagram of you going to Bangladesh. So was that during like this year, I guess?
That's right. It was in December that we went. It was just for a week, and we spent a lot of time in the orphanage. And I've not uploaded any videos yet. But I'm just in the process of editing them all, because obviously £10,000 went to South America, but the other half of the money went to Bangladesh to help out our orphanage, and that's where the money's gone to. So I'd already sent the money, and we've had a lot of projects already going on. So I just wanted to go there, just finalize it all, and make sure everything went all right. And alhamdulillah, it's all looking well now.
Okay, that's good. I mean, so do you travel there regularly then just to see like and work with the orphanage in Bangladesh?
Yeah, well, when I was growing up, my dad used to go back literally every year, or probably once every 2 years, and he'll take the whole family with us. So that's been in me from a very young age. So after obviously I turned 18, I went to university. I wanted to explore the world. That's when my love for travel really blossomed, when I was allowed to explore. And since then, I tend to go back by myself, and go back with my wife. So I still like to go back like every once a year or once every 2 years, just the way my dad used to take us.
Yeah, and if anyone wanted to kind of donate towards the orphanage, how could they do that?
Well, at the moment, I'm just setting everything up. At the moment, well, the problem is, as you probably know yourself, in Bangladesh, it's a registered charity over there, and an orphanage, but I'm just in the process of registering in the UK as
Oh,
a
I see.
UK site. So once I've got that registered at the moment, I'm just waiting for the paperwork and everything to go through. Once that's all set up, then I'll be flooding my social media with everything. So yeah, just keep.
Okay.
I look out on my Instagram, on my Twitter, on how to do it because I'll be getting a lot of not just fundraising, but stuff like books. We need a lot of books and stuff like that. For the kids. So I want to get into like different types of programs. I've done a lot of work with other charities, so I know how it all works. If you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
that's the reason why I did that to understand how the charity works and how the money is being spent.
Okay.
That was a big thing for me because, like I said, I'd done a lot of, I've raised a lot of funds over the last 20 years for different charities, but you'd give it, but you won't know what's happened to it, and I want to give people that that feeling. Yeah, you've given X amount of money, and this is what it's going to go towards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's yours, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's very noble, and I hope that inshallah, things you can generate the funds and help these people that desperately need these the money basically. So yeah, it's really admirable that you've especially. So I mean, by the sounds of it, it sounds like you've distributed all of the money, I guess, towards
Yeah,
charity then, and not kept anything
yeah.
for yourselves.
I think the trip itself, to be on the show Race Across the World and to go from Ushuaia to Mexico City to Ushuaia was an experience.
Mm,
You can't really put a price on that experience. The people that we met, the memories that I've taken, you just can't put a figure on it. And that kind of money, £20,000 will go such a long way in these third world countries, and it'll help so many kids.
yeah.
It's unbelievable. We could have won it. We could, if I bought the money back here, realistically, what would I have done with it? Buy a new car,
Yeah.
build a
True.
conservatory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so materialistic things to me, and yeah,
Yeah, and you're
I
investing
don't really,
in as a Muslim, we believe obviously
yeah,
you're investing in the afterlife as well.
exactly.
So you're building a home for yourself in Jannah, inshallah. That's the aim, isn't it? So
That's it.
I
That's what it's all
guess
about.
you get you whatever you give in charity. Obviously, we have the belief that Allah rewards you with triple, double, 10
Yeah.
times more. So
Mm.
it's a good way of thinking, I guess. At the end of the day, you've got a comfortable living, I guess. You've got a house, and you've got a
Yeah,
car and everything. You've got money
exactly.
coming in, so why not help others? So yeah, it's
Exactly.
really really good to hear that from you, actually. So I'll kind of want to go a bit more into, like, obviously you and your nephew were the only kind of Muslims on this
Yeah.
race across the world. So
Mm.
obviously we know as Muslims we have certain kind of beliefs and things like that
Yeah.
that can maybe make certain journeys more difficult than
Yeah.
for other people. So I guess in regards to, like, how was it in regards to being a Muslim and being on that kind of journey across South America?
You know what? It was amazing. South America. I've never been to South America before, so it was an eye opener for me. Obviously, our beliefs. Me and my nephew. We prayed everywhere we could, and we didn't miss any salahs
Okay.
throughout the trip. Islam is very underrated in South America. It's hugely underrated. I go back to my
Mm.
previous acts in Sao Paulo. I'm not sure. I think it's the fifth biggest city in the world. And would you guess how many mosques there are in that city?
I don't know, like 5.
Right, in Bradford, where I live, right,
Yeah.
there's over 400 mosques,
Yeah.
right? And Bradford to Sao Paulo obviously is a lot bigger. There's
Yeah.
14 mosques. 14 mosques. There's
Oh, okay.
one main mosque, and all the other ones are just houses. And
Oh, I see.
yeah, and not just in Sao Paulo, but we went to another mosque in Panama, in Panama City, and that was another small mosque. And that what we noticed, the people there, the brothers, the Muslims that are there, they're just so humble to see another
Mm.
Muslim person. I remember one incident where we were in the bus stop, and it was time for Salah. So me and my nephew said, like I said, I've traveled a lot, so it don't really bother me. I'll do my Salah wherever I am. I'll just get my mat out and that's it. I'll pray.
Okay.
And in the bus stop, we both started praying, and then it was like everyone at the bus stop just literally just crowded around us, like thinking, "What the hell's going on here?" Like that, they were like fascinated with what we were doing. So anyway, we finished, and the amount of people that came up to us and were asking about Islam, and they wanted to know about it. You know what I mean? It
Oh
was it
wow.
was incredible, and it's like some people never heard of the religion before because
Mm.
I won't say they were backwards, but they weren't really in tune with the world. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And that's what it was. And there's so many people that we talked to about Islam, and telling them stories
Okay.
about being Muslims and being Islam, and it was amazing. It was really
Yeah.
good, and I really enjoyed that part of the trip. And there's other aspects, stuff like halal food. Um, we just became vegetarians. I'll be honest with you,
Okay.
throughout the trip,
That's
and
fair enough.
it didn't really bother either of us.
Yeah.
And we did eat where we could in the mosques, and especially I'll tell you another story what happened in Sao Paulo. Do you see the episode where we went to that mosque,
Yeah.
Masjid
Yeah.
Jamal?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So the brothers there, like obviously we had like a big camera crew around us. There's me and my nephew and there's 7 other people around us, like with cameras and sound equipment and all sorts. So obviously we are like a bit of an entourage. And so the brothers are like, oh, fascinated by what's going on. So we told them the idea of the story and what we were doing. And they said, "Oh, where are you staying tonight?" And I said to them, "Listen, we don't have any plans. We'll probably a lot of times we stayed like on the streets, on the bus
Mm.
stops, on the buses. So we just told them we probably should just camp out somewhere because we have sleeping bags. We just camp out because not just staying at the mosque." And I was like,
Mm.
"All right, yeah, we don't mind." So we stayed at the mosque, and not only just me and my nephew, but they wanted to. They made sure the whole of our crew stayed with us in the mosque, and they all
Okay.
fed us. Like me, my nephew, and the whole crew, they fed us like really well, and they properly looked after us. And the next day, they're like, "Oh, where are you going now?" And they like took us to the bus stop. And they bought us our bus ticket for the
Oh
next part of
wow.
the journey to go to Ilha
Wow.
Grande. And it was the people that made the trip for us. The amount of help that we got was unbelievable.
Mm.
Not just from the Muslims, but from non-Muslims as well. Like
Yeah.
um, it restores the belief in human nature. We
Yeah.
did the whole trip, 54 days without our phones, with very limited money, and especially on the bus trips, you'll get up and you start talking to people. You start asking people, "Oh, what's the best route? What's the best things to do around there?" And it's the local
Mm.
people that know the best things to do. You can go to Google and you ask Google what the best route is, but ultimately it's the local people
Yeah.
that know the best ways, and
Yeah.
that's what predominantly won the show for us because the
Okay.
insight that we got from learning about people on the buses, and we had a lot of conversations with a lot of people. I still keep in
Okay.
touch with them now.
Okay, that's amazing to hear. Actually, I mean, with the kind of the Muslim community there, did you notice that if there were which kind of country had maybe the largest kind of Muslim population or community from the ones that you traveled through?
Um, from from my experience, it's probably Panama.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a weird one because it was the only in Panama that we came across quite a lot of not quite a
okay.
lot, but a substantial amount of Muslims, and we could actually find halal meat quite openly.
Oh
Every
wow.
other country we couldn't find halal meat anywhere.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I'd say Panama, but I think there was a lot of Palestinians in Panama that moved there, like years and years ago.
Mm.
There's like a big community of Palestinians there. So yeah, alhamdulillah, they were amazing to us.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's good. I mean, and what did you do in regards to going to the loo and stuff? Because obviously we as
Yeah,
Muslims we either bodna or lota, whatever we call it,
yeah.
So
Just carry a water bottle with us. You
ah,
know what I mean?
okay,
Just
okay,
carry a
fair
water
enough.
bottle with us. And we always had a water bottle with us. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you just went where we have to go. And unfortunately, we had checkpoints in between the legs. And at the
Okay.
checkpoint, we're in like a nice hotel.
Oh, yeah,
That
that's true.
wasn't too
Yeah.
bad.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, it sounds like you enjoyed the trip, and you obviously connected with some Muslim brothers along the way, which is always nice to see. It shows that Islam is everywhere, I guess, and also through your actions, you gave a lot of dawah as well, like praying random places and stuff like that. It gets people thinking and talking as well. So yeah, it sounds like a amazing experience. I mean, I guess I want to also maybe talk about, I guess, the story, the background story of what you and your nephew kind of had reconnected after a while, and why you decided to go on the journey together. So obviously the story on the show was that obviously you were estranged from your family for a number of years, and this was an opportunity for you to reconnect with your nephew and build that bond up again. I mean, if you're comfortable about talking about that, would you want to go into like actually what actually happened? Because it was a bit like we got an idea from the show, but it wasn't obviously as detailed as you would say.
So as I explained to you, I left home when I was 18. I left the university, and to be honest with you, I've never really gone back. I'm 36 now, and I've never really gone back home, so to speak. Obviously, when I went to university, I found what I wanted to do in life and what I wanted to pursue. I had aspirations of becoming like a traveler. I wanted to go and visit every single country in the world. I really got a bug for traveling. So that's what I did. I spent a lot of my time, a lot of my money just going abroad and when I used to go abroad, I used to go for like 6 months, 12 months at a time. I mean, it wasn't like short holidays; they were like long holidays. And obviously, it was like 15 years ago. It was a bit different. Like when 15 years ago, you probably know yourself. Your mom and dad would say, right, it's time for you to get married. We've got someone in mind, and this is it really. And even my brothers and sisters, they got married arranged. Alhamdulillah, they're all happy. But wasn't for me, you know what I mean. And I'd seen the world. I started experiencing, what the world has to offer, different cultures, and I didn't want to go down that road. So yeah, me and my family had a big falling out about it, and so I just like literally went on my own way to like find myself. If you know what I mean. That's why I left home really. And at that time, 15 years ago, that was like, oh, it was a big thing. Oh, he's left his home, this and that, and
Well, it still
obviously,
probably is, I guess, even
yeah.
now. If an
Yeah, so
Asian,
I think the society has become more accepting to that. You know what I mean? And obviously, I want to get married to someone that I wanted to get married to, and my parents weren't happy about it basically. So I sort of did my own thing really, and after I did that, it's like that phrase, out of sight, out of mind, and after I left home, they didn't forget about me, but you know, it allowed me to do my own thing, if you know what I mean. It allowed me to spread my wings, to find myself and to establish myself of what I wanted to do in life. And then obviously it took a bit of time, but my family finally started to come around to the idea that obviously I was married then, I was married now, and then I'll settle down, and I'll still do these trips abroad. So yeah, and it just like people say, time is a healer, and it's so true. And even like my parents, like that, they're quite old, so they're still set in their own ways,
the cultural kind of thing.
And that's what it was. I think it was a more of a culture and religion for me as well, because I was finding my religion then as well in my when I was at university. I started to learn about more about Islam. I started to learn about who I was as a Muslim. And that's when you start to, because when you're young, when you used to go to mosque, you used to read Arabic. They taught you Arabic, and you really understood it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You never really got what anything meant. You just read it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
True.
finished the Quran, and that was it.
Yeah.
But it was only at university when I started to, study my religion. I started to understand it, and that's when I realized, we're doing things wrong, kind of things. And so yeah, that set me off on my own way as well. So
Okay.
the experience with my nephew was an experience for me and to get to know each other again because we've been separated for so long. And before we were like really close. Like
Hmm.
when he was growing up, like I spent a lot of time with him, and then 10 years went past when about 10 years, but I didn't really speak to him. And then we met up at
Okay.
a wedding, and then it's just like you know it's just like we're like almost best mates. And then he applied to the show. Then I think he applied to the show after the day after that wedding because I saw a
Okay.
fresh in his head. And then he rang me up because, oh, can you do a video interview for this show? And I said, yeah, I'll do it, but I doubt we'll get onto it. And then yeah, I did it, and yeah, it was an amazing experience. And prior to the trip, I'd spent less than 24 hours with my nephew. So to spend
Okay.
54 days traveling through South America with him, that was a daunting challenge in itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it was good, and it bonded us, and even now, we've got a bond that you know no one can take that away from us. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Yeah.
in years to come, we'll talk about things that happened on that trip. Um, so it's good memories and good times.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it kind of shows how things work full circle as well, because you're saying the whole thing started from you like leaving home
Yeah,
and family like in a way disowning you, I guess,
yeah,
and then it's gone like full circle, and now
yeah,
you've reconnected with everyone again, including building that bond with your nephew through this
yeah,
whole journey. I mean, it just shows like how Allah works, I guess,
yeah.
in mysterious ways, and you
Mhm.
just don't know, because I'm guessing at the time when you left home, you probably thought, like, you don't know when you're going to see them again, or when are you
Yeah,
going to reconnect and stuff like that. And then obviously stuff's happened all through that period, and it's made you come back to that family again now. So yeah, it's amazing to see how that happened. I mean, so did you, when you initially kind of left home, I guess, was it due to a girl, as they say, like,
it was,
or
it was,
was it to
yeah,
travel?
it was to do with the girl, and it was to do with travel, but it was more to do with travel for me.
Okay.
My parents didn't like the idea that I'd go away for 6 months. I think I'd just come back from Africa then, and I told them that I was going away for 2 weeks, and then I ended up spending 6 months. I came back after 6 months,
Okay.
and my dad wasn't happy about it at all. And then straight after that, I think I moved about a couple of months in March, and I went traveling again for 12 months. Um, so yeah. It was a
Okay.
travel on the girl as well. But more
Okay. Okay.
The travel.
Okay. So I mean, I guess it's a good example to think about for the next. Oh, I think we've lost you. You're back. Lost you for a few seconds. So, well, thanks for coming back. I think I think I was just making the point about I guess, like, what would your kind of advice be for I don't know, like Asian parents now, like if they were to their children were to come to them, like say, I like this girl, for example, or I
Yeah.
want to travel, I want to do this and that. What would your advice be?
My advice would be to always try to listen to your parents,
Mm,
because even my dad, he wasn't happy about it, but he understood. He understood me. He knew the person that I was. So we've always had that relationship where he gets me,
mhm.
and he knows that I'm my own person. So my advice would be to take the advice from your parents, and pursue your dreams and what you want to do in life. If you're dead set about something, there's no harm in pursuing it.
Yeah,
And in of the parents' perspective, I tell all parents to try support the children wherever they can, or whatever they
mhm.
want to do, or whatever they want to become.
Yeah,
Um, the world is completely different to what it was when I was growing up. Do you know what I mean? It's like the opportunities are endless. It's just like from your phone you can do, loads of things. I didn't have
yeah,
that when I was a kid. Do you know what I mean? It's just incredible the way the world has changed.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's good advice. Actually, I mean, I think also the fact that I mean, I think I'm similar age to you. You said you were 36, isn't it? So I'm
It's-
34. So I'm like 2 years younger than you. So I think it's the next generation. It's about that mentality now. So like when we have our kids, and when they get older, it's about. I think the problem was with our parents' generation was they never had that friendship, I guess, with their
Yeah.
children. They never grew up as their friends.
Mm.
It was all about they come back from work and they want their food kind of stuff and curry and all
Yeah,
of that. And you'll have some connection, but it's more like, especially with dads, it was more
yeah,
like you feared them, like
yeah,
you had that respect and fear for them. But I think now it's about, like Islamically, you should be trying to be your son's best friend or your daughter's best friend, and then in that regard, they will be open to come to you and talk about issues that they may have, struggles that they're going through,
yeah,
dreams that they have, or things they want to do. And then it will make that conversation a bit easier and more open,
yeah,
rather than people just rebelling completely.
yeah.
And, like you lose that family connection for a while, I guess. Would you say in hindsight that would have been something that would have helped you in the time when you left home?
I, I think so. Yeah. Also, I think an area is the communication. Obviously, my parents speak Bengali to me.
Mm,
My Bengali is okay, but it's not fluent.
mm,
I was born and brought up in the UK. English is my first language.
yeah.
So if you can't communicate with your parents, you're sort of on the back foot already.
Mm,
And it's hard to talk to them in Bengali when you want to express your feelings in, or you want to say something specific, but you don't know how to get it out. And I think that was one of the main factors for myself, that I couldn't communicate effectively with my parents. I think as I got older, my Bengali became a bit more fluent, and I got to speak to my parents in that fashion. Or when I was younger, you don't really speak to them, do you? You
no,
just
no.
do your own thing.
Yeah. Do you think the whole experience has brought you closer to your parents then now?
100%, yeah.
Mm,
Now I'm closer to my whole family now.
okay.
I think it's made me realize, how much I've missed out on family life. Because yeah, I was a bit selfish because I wanted to do my own thing, and I wanted to travel. But there's a price that I paid for it, and I was missing 10 years of family life. And at the moment, that's what I'm trying to make up for.
Mm,
And it's amazing being back in the family fold, and people ringing you all the time, and just asking how you're doing and stuff.
yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. Good to hear. I mean, that you've reconnected with the family, and long may it continue. I guess it's just in regards, probably like final kind of questions maybe I have for you. Is what would you say was the best place that you visited throughout your trip?
In race across the world,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the best memories I have is probably in Peru.
Okay.
It's such amazing country. Is when you search Peru on, or like, I'll give you an example. You search Peru on Google, things to do. The things that will come up is Machu Picchu, the Inca Trail and stuff like that. But
Mm,
we found the Rainbow Mountain, and I didn't know nothing about the Rainbow Mountain, and that was an incredible mountain to
yeah.
climb. And the people, like, we stayed in this hostel with John and Santos, and they took us out in the boats, catching fish on
Mm,
these like really funky boats. And they taught us the way how they do it traditionally. And that's what I like the most about Peru, is they had their traditions, and they weren't affected by the Western society. They still had their traditions.
yeah.
They're still fishing the way they fished. Do you know what I mean? I'd say to them, why don't you just get like a fishing net? You get loads of fish. But like, it's not the way. We do it with
Okay.
this is how we do it with the spear thing. And it really took me back,
Yeah.
just to see, the way the way they do things back there. And I have fond memories from Peru.
Mm,
And even and Ushuaia was amazing as well. Ushuaia was incredible. We talked about it for so long, for 2 months. We were talking about Ushuaia, and then we finally got there. Some of the scenes that you see is just crazy, like snow-capped mountains, and it's like 20 degrees, but you can still see the snow. Do you know what I mean? It's just so weird. So yeah, that was incredible.
Okay.
In the end.
And what would you say was the worst part of the whole thing?
The worst part for us was in Mexico City right at the start.
Okay.
Well, not just Mexico. In the first leg, when we went to Honduras, me and my nephew, we were all over the place. We did not have a clue what we were doing. We literally, we were just there just to make up the numbers. We thought like we'd have a laugh, and then when we realized, what, people can't speak English, we can't speak Spanish, and then that's a problem. You can't ask people for directions. You can't ask people where to go or what to do. So as soon as we started in Mexico City and they said, right, go, we were like, right, what the hell? What are we supposed to do? The first person, I think it took us about an hour to find out exactly where our first checkpoint was, because we never heard of it before.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we found some English-speaking people. So I think, in Mexico City, it was just finding our feet, and the hustle and bustle of Mexico City was just crazy. It's like London City, but 10 times worse. Like, everyone's everywhere, and they set us off at peak time where, it was just jam-packed. We jumped on a metro link, and it was just crazy time.
Okay, yeah, because I remember watching that first episode when everyone just kind of runs off like aimlessly and not knowing what to do, and it's just like, and I remember I think it was Jamil had that like thermal jacket on and stuff as well, and it was like it looked like he was boiling and he was running, and you guys just got out of breath so quickly, still not knowing where to go and stuff. So I thought that was quite funny to watch on the screen.
It was it was good, man. It was funny, but it was so stressful, especially at first. Like once we figured it out, and we knew what we were doing, and we knew more about the race, then we started to enjoy it a bit more, because the first leg was hard for us, because I was still getting to know my nephew, because I didn't know him that well. His bad habits, things that he does, and vice versa as well. So it was a learning curve for both of us. I think in that sense, like our team, like knew each other the least. You know what I mean? In compared to the other teams, that was a disadvantage, and you probably see that in the first couple of legs, and then after that, when we started to, talk to each other, and we had a lot of deep conversations on the buses. Then you get to understand him. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. It was good to watch, actually, especially the early episodes, and then seeing your bond grow and stuff, and then especially at the start, we thought you guys would never make it. To be honest, you lost your map and everything, isn't it? So, yeah, but it was amazing that you got there in the end. To be honest,
I think we were 31 hours behind after the first leg.
Yeah.
For that, when we realized we were fifth, 31 hours behind, I thought, bloody hell, this is a game over. This no chance. We might just spend the money and just enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
But we figured it out on how to do it on a budget, and to haggle. Well, the main thing was haggling, and we were good at it. I mean, we got a lot of things for free. So I mean, bus trips and food for free.
Nice.
Mad.
Have you tried that since you've been back in the UK, like to haggle in the markets and stuff?
I haggle all the time.
Oh, is it?
In Tesco's and stuff like that. I'll pick something up. I'll pick something up to see if there's anything wrong with it first, and then if there's something wrong with it, that's it. It's getting a couple of quid knocked off. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Manager.
That's a nice tip, actually. I might do that myself.
That's it. I'll see you look at it and just call the manager. That's it. Yeah,
do you do a little cheeky rip yourself?
I won't do a cheeky rip myself, but
No.
I'll look through, like, even if it's like loads of salads, like bags. I'll look through all the salad bags just to see if anything had any defects in it, and you will find something that has a defect on it.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good tip out there for the hagglers, I guess. Yeah, so you can haggle in the UK as well, and in major supermarkets, which is good. All right, that's good. I guess what would you say your future plans are then? I guess in regards to, I know you want to travel again, but is there like a country that you're itching to travel to at the moment?
Well, I'm itching to go back to Brazil. Because I've been in contact with the charity. They contact me literally every other day. So yeah, Brazil. Is my first and foremost, and also India. There's one country that I've not been to is India, and it's been on my bucket list for the last 20 years. And I always said I'll go. But yeah, and I actually, me and my missus booked it to go in April. Yeah, not April. In June we booked it, and then
Okay.
yeah, that got cancelled. So I was really gutted about that because I
Oh,
really wanted to go to India, and it was going from India, like traveling the whole of India, over,
okay.
over 4 weeks. Going to some of the sites. So India is just a massive country, and it
Yeah, yeah,
has so much to offer.
yeah.
And
Were you gonna like slum it or like luxury? Because obviously you'll be with the missus.
yeah, well, a bit on both. To be honest with you, like I've always enjoyed slumming it. I've always enjoyed the hostel life. You meet some incredible people in the hostels, um, and even she watched the show, and then she's never done it like the hostel life one. She said she'll give it a go. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And like, so yeah,
So you'll
we'll
probably mix it up a bit.
yeah mix up a bit because I don't think she'll be able to do the whole trip slumming it.
Yeah, yeah.
If I
Especially
was
in
with my
India.
India
Yeah,
would be tough as well.
yeah.
And so yeah, so India and Brazil, hopefully.
Okay. Well, inshallah, you can go next year, hopefully, if things get better. All right.
Inshallah.
Well, I think that's. I think we've covered quite a bit here. Yeah. Thanks for giving me your time because I truly didn't expect you to respond to my message. So it was a nice surprise to see you respond and also agree to come on the podcast. So
Yeah,
I
no,
appreciate that.
come on.
And I was supposed to do this at the start. I think I told you with the card game.
Hard
Uh,
game.
yeah. So if you don't mind, we could do it at the end. Maybe just get a bit
Yeah,
open up on certain areas, maybe if you want, as long as you're comfortable answering them.
yeah, no
Don't
problem,
want
sir.
to put you in a situation where you feel awkward. So I'm just gonna shuffle them a bit, and then
Yeah,
I'll pick one or two at random, and then just see
right.
like what they come up with. So the first one, okay. Okay, this might actually is quite deep to be honest. So
Yeah.
this one says, think about someone in your life that is no longer here. What is one lesson they taught you?
Right. One person that's not here and they taught me. Um, it's probably got to be my dad. Because
Okay.
he passed away. I think it was end of November. He taught me a
Okay.
lot. He taught me, and that's the reason why I went back to Bangladesh
Hmm.
to because he wanted to be buried in Bangladesh. So yeah, some of the things my dad taught me, and I'll never forget, is the one main thing that he always said was to give, give, give.
Mm.
Um, there's a lot more people in this world that are less fortunate than yourself. Always think about them. He always said it's all about giving in this world. That's what it's all about, really. Just giving.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Well, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. I mean, may Allah grant him Jannah, and you can inshallah meet him in Jannah in the next life. I mean, so yeah, that's really good lesson that he's taught you, and obviously that shows from your charity work that you've been doing
Mm,
since then, carrying on the legacy, I guess, for him
yeah, that's
as
it.
well.
That's what it's all about.
It's all about sadqa jariyah, as they
Yeah.
say, isn't it? So it will be a continuous reward for him, inshallah, as well. So
Oh.
yeah, that's good. All right. Would you mind doing another one?
Yeah, no problems. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Pick
Okay.
another one.
Cool. Let me just shuffle it a bit more. Um. Okay, that's probably not a good one. Okay. Yeah, this one. Who is your biggest cheerleader?
My biggest cheerleader has got to be my nephews and nieces.
Okay.
Yeah, especially my nieces. Uh, when I left my family, like 10 years, I went traveling, and I had a Facebook account where I'd constantly upload my pictures, but I delete that Facebook account, and my nephews and nieces, especially my nieces, will always follow me to see where I'm going and see see my next destination was.
Okay.
It was almost like a travel vlog, I think it was they called it back then, where but it was more of a personal one. Where I used to only post in a Facebook group that had
Okay.
all my family involved, all the kids, and all my cousins are involved. So I constantly post on them, and yeah, they would always cheer me on, and they'll always give me nice messages.
Okay.
On the race across the world. I think I uploaded a couple of the reactions when they all found out that we won. At the house.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you were going to say your wife. So yeah, it's interesting to hear that.
My wife as well, but
Okay.
my nephews and niece, I'd say as well.
Okay.
My wife as well. Actually, she's very very open about the person
Okay.
I am. Because I'm fortunate because I'm able to travel a lot. I'm able to go where I want, and she understands that because she knew me when I was like that. When I was at university, and I think we've been together like 16 years now. So she's adapted to who I am. So yeah, but it's
Okay.
about give and take really.
Yeah, that's good. Shall we do one more?
Yeah, go for
And
it.
then we can call it. So this one says, what are you most thankful to Allah for this week?
Well, my most thankful for Allah being
For
here.
this. Okay.
Being here, every day is a blessing. I believe. I pray a lot, and I read the Quran a lot, and I'm thankful for everything. I'm thankful for everything that I have. How fortunate I am, because there's so many people in this world that aren't like in my situation, that can't eat, can't drink. They're living on the streets, even in this cold weather. So I'm thankful for everything for my life, really.
Okay. Well, that's nice. Yeah, nice way to end it on, I guess.
Yeah.
Always be thankful for what you have, I guess, and be grateful. I guess, especially during lockdown, it's made you appreciate the little things. Like having ability to hug someone or handshakes. You've missed all of that now as well. So
Yeah.
it's the little things. Being thankful that you have your health, you have a roof over your head, and all of that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you for again for your time and reaching out and kind of agreeing to do this and stuff. So appreciate it really, and I'll let you know when I put it up and everything.
Yeah.
So
No problems.
you can keep an eye out, I guess.
Yeah.
All right,
No
bro.
problem. Thanks. It's been fun. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's been good. I've enjoyed it as well, and it hasn't been as daunting as I thought it would be.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, okay. Jazakallah khair.
no
I
problem.
hope I speak to you soon and take care. Assalamu alaikum.
No. Wa alaikum salam.